have anything to say at any point, feel free to pitch in. If you've got some knowledge you can share with people, then we're all discovering and learning at the same time. So, I want to follow through. Yeah, you're home. Because what seems to have happened is the clearances that again I'm not an expert on, but there seems to have been a movement from Parkwood Springs all the way across the valley and then up into Walkley,
right,
where people in Walkley seem to put their foot down,
yeah,
and sort of stopped it from happening.
Yes.
But
yeah,
certainly there was housing, residential housing over there, where you can see the ski village now. A lot of residential houses, terraced housing in the valley here.
There's a view there of the city in, I suppose, different layers and different stages of development, and we've talked a bit about what happened on that bank and how in the slum clearances. And you might want to write something or draw something or a combination of the two. But what I was going to do was make a quick monoprint while we're here, looking at the view or working from memory. If we just make a drawing. It's very rough, just to show you. So, something that's very rough, just to show you how it works, and then as you peel it off, you'll be left with an impression of what, which is quite, I find it quite a kind of nostalgic, smoky, like the images Mark was handing round at the cooling towers. What?
I don't say not do.
You just sort of switched your brain around. It's cute.
Of how it's changed from being sort of quite industrial into sort of very urban, and then probably back to a little bit of mixture of things now. So seeing how it was then and how it is now. And I've always wanted to visit the pigeon lofts, but I've never known how to get there, and so it was fascinating to actually finally get there.
Well, it's all my life really around here, because my aunt lived on Portland Street. And then when they pulled them down, she went up Fox Hill, and then because lived a long way away from her, she had to move back, so she came back into Kelvin, because that were easier for me to get to see her. It's only me and her left, you see, family, so I looked after her really.
Yeah. So what I thought we could do is make another drawing about something that sort of stood out for us, or a memory that's come up for us, or a connection, whether it's layers or bonds or relationships or place or ways in, and using the candles on the table and a piece of the watercolour paper, make a quick sketch about that. You won't be able to see what you're doing. We'll be going in a bit blind, a bit like we did today. And then we're going to come back together and uncover them and just explain to each other, probably quite quickly in the time we've got left, but just explain a bit about what that image is for you.
It's really hard to see what you've done. So these pigeons, those things there, apparently, and they're coming back.
Real sense of vertical space.
Yeah. I think because when we was on that bank looking up, you get that sense of lift.
This is about going up in that lift into Kelvin, and looking out the window over at Sheffield. because they're quite high. They were quite high. You know, they're not on the scale of Hyde Park. But you can get quite a view from like sixth floor. Can't quite remember.
Right.
Just my thoughts of going up in the lift, looking out the windows, and you're getting the reflection from outside and from the sodium lights outside on the lampposts.
So I just stole Faye's words. Someone else's word to somewhere. And then I was trying, it's really hard to draw, but I was trying to draw some of the grasses and things that were kind of by the hedgerows.
It's like the really small, intricate detail, like the footsteps, where the footsteps would go. They're very, almost like the micro as opposed to the macro.